Are you tired of getting flat hair all the time and your hair having no shape and no texture, no volume? I'm going to show you how to get the perfect textured haircut in 2025. So what does texture mean? Well, texture means in a haircut the ability for it to have movement and shape and for it to look like it's not so solid, right? Texture is all about creating pieciness and separation and letting the hair have different lengths throughout it, meaning it's not so solid, it's not so harsh, not so heavy looking. So I have a couple of haircuts that I'm going to show you some ways you can actually get more of a textured look. Now, this can be done at home if you are courageous enough. I always say go to a hair professional because hopefully they know what they're doing. Not all, but hopefully they do. And secondly, if you want to take this on yourself, there are some tools that you need, professional tools. This is not easy. These are more advanced techniques. If you're going to a hair professional, what you need to tell them is saying, my hair is too heavy, right? Now, there's a difference between thinning out hair and texturizing hair. Thinning out hair, actually, if it's done right, creates some texture. A lot of the techniques that I use do remove a lot of weight, but they also add texture to the hair, meaning when you go like this, it has a bit more separation and pieciness, as you can see. If the hair is too heavy, you're not going to be able to have that texture. So in reality, when you're creating that kind of look, you are removing weight. So let's get right into the tools and techniques that I use. First one is utilizing thinning shears. So we're going to get nice and close here. So thinning shears, this is a professional tool. And if you are a hair professional, barber, hairstylist, you know what these are, obviously. Even if you're a client, you've probably heard about these or seen these being used on your hair. What I like to do is firstly make sure that your hair is fully dry. And I'm going to approach this from if I'm teaching a hairstylist or barber or a client. Either way, it's the same thing. If you want to feel the maximum weight in your hair, make sure your hair is fully blow dried, meaning you can wash your hair, shampoo it, and put no product in your hair because you want to feel where that weight is. Blow dry it fully. Yes, make it poofy, make it whatever. And then you start feeling where the hair is too heavy and is too flat and lacks that texture. The shorter the hair, it's actually easier. Something like this. I do have a haircut that's maybe a little bit longer. This always ends up working out better on shorter types of hairstyles. So what I like to do is there's one technique that I do which adds a lot of texture is I take a section, a pretty thick section, and I'll actually twist the hair. So what I'm doing is I'm actually creating a lot of bulk. Then I'll go in here. You can see that the shears are at the middle, and then I'll do a chomp. And then you can see it removed some hair right there. Okay? I'll take another section like this, take a big clump of hair. I'll go in, remove the finger because you want to chop your finger off, and I'll do a chomp. And it's going to release and remove a bunch of weight, but also create kind of hidden shorter pieces within that section. Once you start to get really, really good at feeling for this, then you can go in and do it a bit faster like this. So you're going to take a section, twist it, release your hand, and go in. Grab the hair. So really what it comes down to is you're grabbing hair and you're chomping into it, right? You're chomping into it. If you want to just create texture on the ends of your hair, then you just simply twist and you focus more on the ends, which is going to make it a bit more wispy. If you do want to remove weight and add texture at the same time, that's when you go down, I would say halfway in the hair shaft here and then close the shear. And once again, just please be very careful when doing this with your fingers. These are very sharp shears. You do not want to cut your fingers. All right, another technique to add texture is the classic point cutting technique. A point cutting technique is something that's been used for many, many years. That's when the shears go in and they close on the way out from the hair like this. So out like that. So it's basically, you're going to go in and you're going to close the thumb as the hair is pulling away like this. What I do, because I've been doing this for so long, I don't even care about pulling it away. I just do it quickly. I just go in and I'm just literally just point cutting, and I'm closing the shear as I'm doing this real time, making sure my finger is out of the way. I'll even, change my hand positioning a little bit, but literally I'm just going in when the hair is dry and just doing it freehanding. This creates a more subtle type of textured approach, and that's another great way to remove some weight if you want to be a bit more conservative. Lastly, the feather razor, right? The feather razor is an amazing professional tool that you really want to take out a lot of weight and add some super, super crazy texture. Well, this is going to be like the maximum because this is just scraping off tons and tons of weight. So what I like to do is just do little notches like this, with the feather razor, you're just notching in. And what that's doing is, again, it's creating texture, it's adding wispiness towards the ends of the hair because the texture comes from a lot of times here. If you want to maintain the bulk and the thickness in the root area to maintain your hair to make it look and stay thicker and just do the ends, well, there you go. You're just notching into the ends to create that wispiness here, but leaving the bulk at the root area. Here is another version of this haircut, which is a much, much, much longer version, as you can see. So this hair, once again, look at all that texture. So if you want to have a hairstyle that has some length to the front of it, but you want to create all this separation, literally the techniques are the exact same. Using a thinning shear, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a nice thick section and I'm going to focus on the ends, right? I'm going to focus on the ends. And what that's doing, it's making it really, see how wispy that's making it? So if your hair, right, you go home and you're just like, oh my God, the way the person cuts my hair, there's no movement to it, there's no texture, something is lacking, my hair is falling flat all the time, I wish you could have that piecey look. There you go, right there. Look at all that hair that's coming out from the thinning shears. So once again, you can do 2-in-1 where you're removing weight and you're adding texture to the hair. And then you just go in and you can style it as you want. Now, I would suggest, once again, making sure, now do all hair professionals know how to do this? To some degree, yes. Just like with anything, there's hairstylists and barbers that are absolutely awful. They do hack jobs. I've witnessed them firsthand for doing it for over 30 years. And there's also ones who are really, really good at doing this. So, I mean, I'm doing it, so obviously other people can do it. You need to find someone who's really good. If your hair professional is not doing this stuff, they don't know how to do it, it's time you upgrade. Or you take this on yourself and you attempt to do it at home, all right? You're probably, and I see in the comments all the time, oh, Salon Guy, I've been watching your videos for so long and, I cut hair better than the person who cuts my hair. Okay, that's great. Good for you, you're saving some money, that's amazing. But if it makes you happy, then great. Just the one thing I do, again, suggest is be very, very careful when using sharp professional tools. Trust me on that. And then if you want to utilize any of my products, I have a new product called Structure Styler, which is probably the most incredible post-styling product you've ever seen. If you want a full matte finish, you want to feel like there's hardly anything in your hair, and you want to be able to maneuver and make your hair really pliable all day long, it's called Structure Styler. I'll tag it right here in the view products. Let me know if you found this video helpful. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon.